Welcome to this laid-back Let's Play of Star Wars The Old Republic. My name is Rich, and today we're on Corellia, as we were last time. Yet to explore much of it. In fact, really I've only been around here, outside the auxiliary spaceport. We are currently in the Gilded Descent, which used to be a casino, I think, but is now apparently an arms depot. No, which is now being used by the planet's militia to stage their defense against the invading Sith Empire. Because the Sith have decided that they want to attack. There's not enough fighting for the Sith at the moment, or there wasn't. So they decided to start some.
Welcome to the Gilded Descent. Coruscant had the intel on the neutron emitters ready and waiting for us. The emitters are at Coronet Shipping. They're a major distributor of starship parts and weapons. The place is built like a fortress. Unfortunately, the Empire's using it as shock troop headquarters. That makes a straight assault impossible. Too many defenses.
Sounds like you've got something in mind.
Nearly every place on Corellia has a back door. Coruscant thinks some of the Solonian tunnels run right under Coronet Shipping. The Solonians haven't dealt much with the Republic, so I sent a Corellian to do the negotiating. He should have been back by now.
I've never heard of the Solonians.
One of Corellia's native species. They were tunnel dwellers, until the Empire cut off their supplies.
Sir, Imperials attacked the rendezvous point. Captain Kantaris and the Solonian have been captured.
Someone tipped off the Imperials. Do we know where they're being held?
There's a captured Corsac station nearby. It would have the cell blocks and fortifications they'd need.
Corsac needs to keep the red light sector secure. You've got to free Captain Kantaris and his Solonian contact.
Consider it done.
These Corsac stations have room for plenty more prisoners. Help them if you can. But Kantaris and his contact are your primary concern. I'll put Corsac on alert, and tell my scouts to watch for any sign of them. Get going.
Where's that? Down here. Okay, seems like we're done questing in this area. And I expect that these two missions that we're about to get are going to be sending us down here as well. But let's find out.
Chanusna, asubi mota uipa, muja job chalka. Se gota do muti kihasa da puño, lis di woto.
You know this isn't the life you should be leading.
Chaskruni do pat kurira, do kanki kung. Kabano tase makipuna, mali tuta odmishka. O bagthra wanawaga mi bunawa duetwipe.
No one installs hidden cameras without a good reason.
Ni at ambumpa boshura mokili moklanki. Chikos pa ini gudad iji liska chanagawa.
How did he begin the conversation? Grandmaster of the Gilded Descent's gaming tables. Oh, okay. Which doesn't necessarily mean that he's the owner. Just that he's in charge of the gaming, of the betting floor. Hardwiring the cameras for Republic use should be elementary, though the Empire might have objections. Tread lightly. Or I could just tread really, really hard. That's... yeah. Same area.
They give you a success probability this time?
Yeah. And you don't want to know the numbers. Master Jedi, they said you might be in the area. Bad intel almost got my guys killed trying to assault the Rendili Vehicle Corporation. Give us a hand, I'd owe you big time.
Tell me what the problem was.
Mistaken info on enemy units. We're here to extract some high-tech shuttles that got left behind when the Empire seized Rendili.
Suckers are quick as a hot double deal. They'd be huge for supply and reinforcement runs.
Except intel missed the whole army of mercenaries the Empire stationed there. So now we gotta get clever. We have a plan to steal those shuttles on the sly, but we'll need help with access and diversion.
I'm curious to hear what you have in mind.
There's a tunnel my men can use to infiltrate the warehouse, but the door's locked from inside. If you're gonna help, first thing is to fight your way in and unlock that door.
Next, we need a diversion. Blowing the fuel depot outside should do the trick.
Then we'll fly those shuttles out from under their noses. What do you think?
This will prove no challenge for a Jedi.
See that, young? That's confidence. We'll be watching for the diversion.
Under new management. That's a good name. For a mission like that. Alright, let's go up. Oh hey. There's a something. Alien archaeological find. You know, I've actually got no idea how far through my story arc I am. I obviously haven't done chapter 3, but all it says is requires completion of the Jedi Consular chapter 3 class quests, but nothing really tells me what chapter I'm on. I assume I'm in chapter 3 given that I've completed chapter 2. I also don't really know how many chapters there are, at least of the first game, of like the you know, the main first release. I'm surprised there's nobody out here manning the guns. There are people inside, and there's a droid there. One of them's been destroyed. That would make it difficult to man it. The map was a little bit confusing for me. Of the stories that I've played so far in the game, and I haven't played much of some of them. So I've got a bounty hunter on the Imperial side, and no other Imperials thus far. And I've got one of everything else. The other one that I've got through the most of the story, most in terms of story with, is the Trooper. And then the Smuggler, although not by much. And then the Knight. And of all of them, so far, I mean, I haven't played any of the Sith, and I haven't played any Operative on the Sith side. But of all of them so far, the one that I like the least, I think, is the Smuggler, because I find it difficult to empathize and identify with someone who's just doing it for the money. Like, even the Bounty Hunter, they're doing it for the renown of being the best bounty hunter. Like, that's a personal goal that's extremely dangerous and is very what the hell was the word I was going to use? It's tough to be the best bounty hunter in the world, or in the galaxy rather. It's tough, and as such, I can identify with it easier than I can with the Smuggler story, which so far like being the best bounty hunter.
Take care of yourself.
Being the best bounty hunter is a goal that you can kind of get behind. Like, it's not really a noble goal, but what a weird decision for cell layout. They're like little huts. But being a smuggler, like, there isn't really anything like, so the bounty hunter, it's a dangerous occupation. It's a dangerous proposition to be trying to become the best bounty hunter, and it requires skill. Not to say that being a smuggler doesn't require skill, but if you want to make money, there are better ways of doing it that aren't illegal, and like, being a bounty hunter, the bounty hunter story is about, like, the glory of being the best, not about making money from all the kills and the, well, not the kills necessarily, but the jobs, hunting bounties. And the story so far seems to be about being clever and, like, getting around, getting people to be willing to hire you, and proving that you can do the job, and, like, making decisions that you think that your client will agree with. The smuggler, you don't really have that kind of motivating factor. You've got someone that you meet who's incredibly suspicious to me, and, like, they dangle a big stack of cash in front of you. Like, they promise, hey, if you help me, you'll make loads and loads of money. But I don't feel like I would trust this person. I feel like I just kick her off my ship, her and all of her shit that she's got in my cargo hold, and find another way.
Yobana Pihota, Mindia?
I'm here to rescue you.
Weg, imatakamu, nakise!
Doesn't really help that Corso Riggs, the first companion you get as a smuggler, is really irritating to me.
Uklu mafutal tamlo home tauluzu tu.
It's the Jedi way.
Tuar ozun mul pelutar partabaza.
Oka kiza spida parupa. Gadwa shiniko higatanoya.
Is that a guard patrol in the background there? I somehow didn't encounter whilst I was on my way in. That's weird. Oh, no, they've come back in. They respawned. I suppose they would have done, wouldn't they? This isn't an instanced area. So all the enemies I killed on the way in will be respawning. Yeah, fair enough. Now, they did spend some time standing around talking. Oh, is it just dudes up here? I kind of thought that because the bit over here, this goes up. I thought that they'd connect, that there'd be a door along here somewhere that would go through into the rest of the second floor, but no, apparently not. Why is there a grill over... Is that a door back there, or is it a section of wall? Weird. This obviously used to be a bunk room of some kind, and then they've repurposed it and put supplies in it. That's not even... It's not even on the map. We're not allowed to go in there at all. That's completely inaccessible. Oh right, they're prison rooms. Since there's some kind of field over the door. That makes sense. Why aren't we letting these people out? Surely just letting everyone out would be the better option. A lot of blasters on the walls. How are people supposed to get these blasters down? Like, this is just about reachable, maybe. But this is definitely not. Not unless you've got a ladder or something. Or can use the force, I suppose. Maybe there's an unloading droid or something. That can telescope up. And helps the armorer. Let's dispose of the rest of the people on the floor, just to make sure that they don't, thematically, don't undo the work that we've just done in coming to rescue this person.
Cole Kantaris? General Abe sent me to get you out of here.
Just in time, too. I didn't like the looks of those Imperial interrogators. This is Goss, head of the local Solonian sept. She can get us inside Coronet shipping.
Has
something happened to the Solonians? If I get them out, is there somewhere safe they can go?
Love. A lot of big close-ups on Corellia that we haven't seen before. They're coming in really, really close, big close-ups, and I don't really know why, because the game is not really... like, the graphics aren't really good enough to support this level of zoom.
I'll clear up the Imperials and help as many as I can.
Can't really ask for more than that. Place looks pretty cleared out. Goss and I will get back to the red light sector and meet up with General Aves. The Imperials will hit the Solonians hard once they discover our escape. You better move fast.
I need to pick one. Make a meaningless choice. Look at this. Rating 114 compared to my 270. I'm so far beyond. The gear I'm getting. It's not funny. Now let's find out whether we can sneak out or how far we can get before having to stop and fight. No. Here, I guess. Looking forward to seeing what changes they make to the different classes, the way that the classes are built and feel in the upcoming expansion. I doubt I'll be playing the new content as soon as it comes out, at least not on stream, because I don't know how long each of the expansions are, and since I'm trying to do everything that I can, I'll be doing it way slower than normal. Of course. So doing absolutely all the content that I can find and handle solo in every... That missed both the others because the template decided to jump position. Great stuff. Like, I don't know how long each of the expansions are, and I'll be doing as much of the expansions as I can. And there's several expansions between the first game and its plot and, well, there's 6, right? Well, okay, so 5. So the next expansion that's coming out the end of this year is version 7 of the game, and usually they do in MMOs they do versions per expansion. At least that's how it is in World of Warcraft, and how it seems to be in this. So 1 is this current story set, and 7 is going to be Legacy of the Sith. So between those two are 5 other versions, so 5 other sets of stories. And even if it's one planet and all of that story, it has taken me a week or 2 of streams to do one planet. It's usually how long it takes, I think. Although I suppose there could technically be enough time if it's just one planet, but I doubt that it will be limited to one planet. And I also expect that each of the planets will be on the larger side rather than the smaller side. I mean, we'll just have to wait until I get to expansion stuff to see how it is, how much there is, and how long it takes. But suffice to say, at the moment, I don't expect to be done with all of the expansion content ready to start playing the new expansion when it comes out. Okay, I need to find hidden cameras and reprogram them, and I've got no idea what they look like. I mean, I know what surveillance cameras look like in the game, in the world of the game, in the world of Star Wars. But that doesn't mean that I know what a hidden camera will look like. Oh. These droids are what I'm doing for descent. Is the beast weak? No. I just hit it really hard. What's that? Neurochemical bud. What a weird thingamy. It's floating as well. Whoever placed that down wasn't paying much attention, were they? Oof. Stop shooting rockets at me. Oh hey, is that one? Hidden camera controls. Cool. The controls aren't very hidden, are they? I wonder where the camera is. Ooh. He's a tough guy. Thank you, Kaizen. Pulling him back. He's a champion. I don't think going toe-to-toe with a melee champion would be a very good idea for my character. At least he doesn't seem to be doing much to Kaizen. I could wear those. See what they look like. Not as interesting as the thumbnail image would suggest. Okay. Gear from something. It's an implant, but what does it do? Sure. Implant. Oh, let's just deconstruct all of those, I guess. This looks like it will be a tougher fight, given that there's more of them. who's so attuned with the Force as my character, she's not using the Force to predict incoming attacks very often, to deflect them with her lightsaber. That's, you know, how they do that, how they know where exactly to put their lightsaber. They use the Force to predict when stuff is coming in, when and where. That was weird. I wonder why there's a red strip down the middle. Okay, well, that's still not great. 3 strongs and an elite. Defeat a bunch of mercenaries. Slice power stations. Secure high-tech supply shuttles from the Rendili Vehicle Corporation. Okay, that's what we're doing. Oh, there's a... Let's wait for the patrol to come up. A Deveronian patrolman to come up. Do him in. Away from the attention of his friends. That out, leave me alone. Attack Kaizen. That's what he's there for. Interesting. I think I've seen this design of gear on another character, like an NPC that you have conversations with, but I cannot remember when. Or even whether it was on this character. No point in dealing with any of them. Let's just continue moving. That's 4 strongs. Doesn't seem as though they're going to come through here, though, which is nice. Oh, maybe I'm entirely wrong. Yeah, they're coming this way. Okay. Kaizen's going to get spotted. Oh no. That's a surprise. Attack this Deveronian mercenary sharpshooter afresh. Not sure what this backpack is supposed to be. What are you? Ah, a focus. Can I break that down? No, but I can break the synthweave robes down for some reason. You would think, considering that Artifice can make force foci like these, that you would be able to break them down. But apparently not. Just the two of them? Or is he connected as well? It would be weird if it was just the two. You don't tend to see mob groups in twos. Apparently it is. Out. You know, I realise by not killing a lot of these dudes, I'm in story making it more difficult for the incoming troops. Or I suppose by the way that things appear in the game, I'm making it more difficult. Really? What? Go away. You stop that. I can meditate and deconstruct at the same time. Cool. I'm just going to headcanon that destroy the fuel port. Where's that? Destroy the fuel depot. So how do I do that? Do I leave? Mercenary Battle Master. Let's leave him alone. Maybe I don't need to spend the time killing everyone in here if I'm just going to make the place blow up once I'm out. How about that for a laugh? And because we're instanced, no one's respawned. Okay, we can't get back inside from once we're out. Okay, so we damage these.
I guess you're even better than they say. I'll be moving out for the rendezvous point in a few.
Good thematically that some people appeared right on top of us, angry that we'd just destroyed something that they wanted to use, but dropping them on top of this character who is squishy and prefers to do things at long range, not such a great feeling. To this champion droid. Alright, let's leave that alone, I think. It's not like I need it, really. So I want to destroy droids and reprogram cameras. Hello. Scan the thing. Come on, Kaizen. unavailable. Summon. Are they just on lampposts? Or the stands for lampposts? Do I just find as many lampposts as I can? Yeah, there we go. There's another one. It's convenient. And then there's one droid over there. What am I stuck on? Come on, Kaizen. Really? I suppose I could have sent him to sell trash items, but then I wouldn't be able to get him back quite as quickly. Oh no, there he goes. I wonder why he would scan this, but not the other things. Is there anything else? Yeah, even the odds. Okay. Oh no, that's... Return to people. No, let's do this first and then return to... Oh no, we can go around this way. Then return and hand them all in at once. Well, hopefully hand them all into the same place at once. That's on the other side of the fence. Okay. Never mind then. Are they rebels? Or are they maybe counterinsurgents? Rebel implies that there's an establishment that you are rebelling against. The Empire is invading, but it is not established as the ruler at the moment on Corellia. So, I mean, they could be guerrilla, they could be resistance, but I don't think that they're rebellion. Because that implies that they are rebelling against, yeah, as I said, established rulers.
Report your ailments. You are fit for duty. Return to your post.
What about old Ben Cahob?
They cut him to pieces, left him on the counter in his tap cafe. You, want me to notify his wife?
I should be the one. Just process the scene. Denode out.
To shreds, you say?
Welcome to Blue Sector, Master Jedi. Gangland Central. For the thugs around here, war is good for business. And I've got terrified citizens to prove it.
I presume killings like this are common in your district?
Not these days. Blue Sector's always had gang trouble, but lately the dominant set, the Coronas, they crossed a line. Their thing used to be hijacking supply runs and armed robbery, the usual stuff. Now they're shaking down folks just trying to help the rebellion. Ben Cahobe stockpiling medkits for Republic troops? Great! Cut them down and take the kits. It's enough to make you sick.
When he said old Ben Cahobe, I was like, that sounds adjacent enough to old Ben Kenobi that it was probably deliberate.
If they're trying to undercut civilian support for the rebellion, they could be working for the Empire.
Or maybe they just got greedy. If we don't stop them, two things will happen. Innocent people are gonna keep dying, and support for the rebellion's gonna suffer. Look, I know it's not your job, but the Corona hideout's got assault cannons, shields. My boys would be slaughtered. We need military help.
These gangsters must not be allowed to prey on your citizens.
I can't tell you how glad I am to hear that. Just be careful. They've got defenses in place you'll have to take out, and they're as mean as any Sith.
It's pretty mean. Ooh. A thing to click on.
Master Jedi, I hope you're here for the fight, because I need you. Name's Halloway. SIS observer, analyst, and right now, helpless bystander.
Where did that Solonian get that datapad from? They're not wearing a belt. They reached to the small of their back, where there wasn't any pouches, or belts, or pockets or anything, and above their tail as well, so it's not like they're going for the prison pocket. And then pulled out a datapad. Quite a large one as well, sort of broader but shorter and thicker than my tablet.
What can I do to help?
One of the last pro-Republic counselors was on a transport headed off-world. The Imperials shot it down over hostile territory. The tracking device on the counselor indicated that he survived the crash, but it failed shortly after.
With the Force on my side, I'll find him.
The imps have already started moving on the crash site. You'll need to hurry to have any chance of finding him first. This is the location of the crash site, an old Resistance hideout nearby. I'll be watching.
Yeah, where did that Solonian... Like, there's not even anything on their back. Oh, there is a belt here, I guess. Did they hook their datapad onto the belt? That's the only explanation I can think of. I do like how when there's a firefight and bolts of energy are zapping past, you can just run straight through and it doesn't touch you, like you're getting through the firefight, like C-3PO and R2-D2 in the films. That looks like something with engines has fallen out of the sky. Another close-up. For no reason. What's weird about the close-ups is that they're doing them... They're not doing them so that you can see an emotional reaction on the face of the character. Or in that case, even when your character was saying something. Like, the cinematic reasons that you... Come on, Kaizen. That you use close-ups is for something significant, and I don't think that they've ever actually been used for anything significant so far. It just makes the whole thing weird. So my character can see that. Although I suppose that with the Force she can probably perceive them without needing sight. Close-up for no reason. We're gonna get close-ups. We're gonna get pointless close-ups every time we free some of these Solonians. We have moved beyond the specialist's reflex stim quite a long time ago. Requires level 34. So you could expect to be using the specialist's reflex stim around level 34, and yet we are level 50. The zone is level 50. What's the logic there? Oh well. That was a convenient series of critical power usages. Another close-up for no reason. I fully expect the last one to give us a pointless close-up. A mystifying close-up. Is the point of the close-ups to confuse and engender in me a feeling of confusion and mystery? Or are they supposed to be like... Because the only reason that you would use a close-up like that with the expressionless face rather than like a reaction with an expression is like someone thanks you and the main character saves some characters and they thank the main character and then run off, and then the main character gets a close-up with a blank expressionless face. That implies to me that the main character doesn't feel anything. From the rescue, like they don't feel satisfied. I really feel embarrassed. Like the rescue wasn't their intended outcome and it's just happened. Okay, the escape pod. So the escape pod landed and has been dragged off somewhere else. Let's go and help that scout. Interesting that the game has a kind of directional physics. So usually when I use Force Wave, it's vertical. Horizontal. It's horizontal. And so it blasts people out away from my character. But when I used it just then, I was below, well, basically below. It was a sort of this sort of angle. The enemies I was using it on. And instead of getting blown horizontally away from me, they got blown up vertically. How did that happen? How did they come over to attack the Solonians? Very strange. Also quite weird seeing my character in clothes that don't have like a long robe or coat. Is this a downed ship? Looks like it. Mostly covered in rubble, or the rear end is mostly covered in rubble. But this seems to be the front end with the bridge. Is it a bomber? Oh good. Didn't get attacked. Quite get close enough to that droid to draw its ire. The Corona gang. They've either got something to do with beers. Well, I mean, the game was released 10 years ago. I imagine that the name is derived from the beer, not the virus. Getting leader. Let's take on the leader. That'll hinder the gang. Let's do this. Surprised this is devoid of any NPCs. You would expect there to be enemies at least, if not like planetary gorilla or resistance NPCs. Someone else recently fought their way through here? Can't really tell. Ah, here we are. Is Areso inside? Unlikely.
Tauls ulva ki hecha tong kaku du imabana.
What say quick say hupkimakte kdai tunaskane.
Hopa gunka ahaya kulka.
Oh right, we were never after Areso. Down through here and up and then through here or round and... Oh no, there's a teleport point or a shuttle point, so I can just come along to here and then shuttle over. Can't I? I actually need to ride my jet scooter all the way around. I just need to go part way. suppose it's really taken a beating, hasn't it? These beings have got quite long heads, haven't they? Going quite a long way back. Not as long as a xenomorph. But still unusually long heads.
Those gangsters won't be giving you any more trouble.
You saved a lot of lives today. Who knows if the rebellion would have survived with the Coronas leeching off support.
You can get back to taking care of your citizens.
With pleasure. Be safe out there, and thank you.
I've been following your progress. The Counselor is safe and sound for now. Once the coast is clear, I'll take a team for exfiltration. The Senate needs to hear firsthand what happened to Corellia's government. We'll make sure the Counselor can tell them. This is what they're talking about when they call you the Guardians of the Republic.
The Jedi way is to serve.
Stay safe out there.
Report your ailments. You are fit for duty. Return to your post.
Oh yeah. But quick travelling, or shuttling, I need to worry about. Riding out.
Hatoga wata kiko uba kiriwata buki donko. Chonki faguta jiho poda ji oto vokise.
I'm sure there's a military hospital somewhere that could use some charity.
Noya nevuta hainakma. Che chopa kuma ni umpi but malia bedwana ni bobo.
Perhaps I'll buy a planet. That's positive forward thinking. Not surprised that the trooper comes here and is part of the direct part of the effort. A bit more surprised about the smuggler.
We were starting to wonder if you'd make it back. Glad you didn't bring the Empire with you.
The Solonians made it to the red light sector. The Imperials were too scattered by your attack to stop them.
Goss is helping her sept settle in. I didn't thank you properly earlier.
Do we have access to the Solonian tunnels?
Your actions gained you more than one ally. Goss had her people confirm the Solonian tunnels ran underneath Coronet shipping. The Solonians were forced out of the tunnels by the Empire. But plenty of predators moved in afterwards. You'll have to be careful.
I wouldn't be much of a Jedi if I let a beast scare me off.
As long as you're down there, you could clear some of those predators out. The Solonians would like their homes back someday.
The tunnels will bypass the shock troops, but their commander, Captain Granta, will be inside. Don't underestimate him.
Would a man like Captain Granta listen to reason?
Shock troops are used for one thing: direct assault. Negotiation's not in their vocabulary.
You'll find the neutron emitters outside, somewhere with a clear shot at the tram system. This spike should override any Imperial security. The neutron emitters will interfere with portable comm transmissions. Once you're inside, contact me through Coronet Shipping's system.
Isn't Captain Dryzen in there? Didn't we just meet him? Cole Cantaris. No, okay, we didn't meet. It was a dude, a captain, who was accompanied by a Silurian. Conflated the two together. Oops. Just drop off there, that's not a problem.
Nicely done. The droid patrol routes have enough gaps for us to sneak by, but they're tight enough the Empire may not realize there are holes.
Your distress call mentioned that zone had been overrun.
Zone 12's a private shipyard that happens to be a great defensive position. You're in for a fight. Good luck helping your friend. I know your mission's urgent, but could you do us a favor?
What would you ask of me?
We managed to convert 2 comm towers into AA guns. All good, till the Empire captured them. But there's an override to hardwire them for Imperial targets. Just enter this at both towers, and we get our guns back.
Then I will make it happen.
We don't expect you to neglect the pod for this, but we'd appreciate it.
It's a very generous offer, Quill.
Be ready before you go near Zone 12. We need you in one piece.
So actually being here and again and talking to them, turns out they look rather different from the other pair of human and Solonian that we just spoke to. In fairness, it was a while ago. Been to sleep since then. Since I last saw the pair of these guys. Now where am I going? In here. I could go this way actually. As long as I can get down here, rather than having to go around. Well, that's still a bit around, isn't it? Right, let's go this way. See whether we can get through. And whose AA guns these are. Whether they're under our control or... well, I mean, they're right next to the spaceport, so presumably our control, rather than Imperial. So there isn't a way through, it looks like. But oh well. It's not too far around. Slip past. Oh, I can't slip past these guys. Wherever they are. Shadow Horde? No, that's not the species. They're like Rift Stalkers from Belsavis? Prison planet. Wait, I can check, can't I? Not that. This. Yeah, Belsavis. Balmora's. I get confused between Balmora and Belsavis because they both begins with B. Where the hell's that? Oh, up there. Okay. But Belsavis had Rift Stalkers.
And Nanaxtaliaxun and Capazo. What say quickse, Upkimakte, Gedai Tunaskane. Manstekad X, me and Axan.
Sounds like a worthy undertaking.
What say quickse, Upkimakte, Gedai Tunaskane. Omega unmasculine X,
Consider it done.
Of course, the Empire's got droids designed to hunt native species because they're cunts. Primeval artifact. It's a beefy creature, isn't it? It's got a hammerhead. Shape of the Rift Stalkers. Kind of a low head, wide arrangement of eyes, and green skin, kind of hunched, amphibious looking. Solarians would have trouble with these, though. I mean, they're not. They strike me as being particularly difficult to kill. And these seem to be weak creatures, yeah, they're definitely weak. In here. That's annoying. A lot more light than there would usually be, I think, because The roof's been blown off. It tends to let light in, doesn't it? Yeah, this is the way. I picked up memory cores, but the Silurian outside said communicators. Those are two different things. Ow! Ow! Get that out! Splendid. Have the memory cores. Are these the droids? No, they're just scavenger droids. But they guard a chest, so down they go. How close do I need to be to these things? Sure where the Imperial control droid is at. Presumably outside the tunnels? That's the only explanation explanation I can come up with. Yeah, I probably should have handed them in first before coming down here to do whatever it was down here that I needed. Where the hell is the... Inside the Imperial droid control post in the battlefield shipyards. Oh, that's that. That's there, okay. Ooh, a Sith. That'd spoil his day. Job's a good one. Not allowed to mount here. Which is a bit weird, because we're outside. Go up there to get out, don't we? But first, how he feels about his relative mastery of battle. being defeated like this. This one's got a soul patch.
Congratulations. You're inside. Did you give any thought to what might happen next?
I'll kill you.
Coronet shipping is under my command. You may have beaten our defenses, but you won't get past my men.
I've beaten shock troops all over Corellia. How are these men any different?
They were hand-picked by their commander, and he'll be leading them against you. Outside, the tunnels were your escape route. In here, you have nowhere to run.
Same to you.
Destroying the neutron emitters will get you nowhere. We have other ways of keeping the Republic under control.
That's a little cryptic.
The Republic prefers a fair fight. I prefer a fight I can win.
So,
Orders,
no fights
sir.
then.
Show the Republic how the Empire handles its enemies.
People do tend to give up quite quickly when you beat them over the head with rocks, don't they?
I just need to contact General Aves for instructions. Captain Granta is dead, General. We're ready to shut down the neutron emitters.
Cancel that. Imperial troops are boarding the rocket trams, trying to cripple us before we can move out. If the Imperials hit us hard enough, we'll have no one left to send. We have to use the neutron emitters to wipe them out.
For months? How long have they known that the attack was coming for? How long has it been going on for? I thought we just got here. And I thought that the attack had only just happened.
We can't kill innocent people just for a quick victory.
Then we'll have to defeat them the old-fashioned way. Let's hope winning the battle doesn't cost us the war.
Don't worry, it won't. So that would have killed them, all those people we just saw on the tram. I guess we would have seen a slightly different cutscene there, where everyone on board that rocket tram just fell over, got zapped with neutrons. acute radiation poisoning and died. Like the people that died in the Chernobyl, well, in the Chernobyl accident and in the TV series, but much quicker. Got another one to attack. Oh, that's a bit difficult to get back in here from over there, won't it? Right. Oh, hey, lucky. There's a Myth Saddlebaster. Or a Bith Mattlesauster. Seem like this is really supposed to be a place that you can walk along. Looks like a big generator. Is there anything behind it? No. A bit disappointing. I wonder where the datacrons here are. Was a bit close to the edge there. Ooh, okay, so you could get up here and climb around. I think. It looks as though that's traversable. So you could get back in from this side if you wanted, if you needed to, if like you hadn't finished the bonus objective, I guess. Yeah, that's traversable. Might as well come in over here then, eh? I think this is an intact version of the thing that we saw crashed earlier. Yeah, it's probably a bomber, isn't it? So it's got foldable wings. I wonder what those wings are in aid of. Can't help with our aerodynamics. Recapturing the AA batteries. What kind of glove is that? I'd lose mastery and power but gain endurance and alacrity. Sure that what I've got is fine. casually reprogram this with a lightsaber in your hand, waving it around right next to your arm. That won't go poorly. No, you can't get past there. That's a bit of a shame. It'd be fun to be able to walk around, although you wouldn't be able to get past this crater either, would you? Wouldn't be able to get around to there. Oh well. Oh hey! I can do this mounted. I'd have thought we'd be inside here. The game's rules on where is inside and where is outside seem a bit arbitrary, don't they? Now, where's the other AA gun? There's no way to it. No. Outside somewhere. It's weird. Oh, game didn't like that. It was like, we don't want you on top of this fence. Get back where you came from. Ooh, do I go through this? Is this how I get? No, it's where there's a dude up there though. Commander Romus. Nope. Is there some stairs around here? Oh, there's a ramp. Oh, it's easier to traverse, isn't it? Let's avail ourselves of this ramp rather than dicking about inside of a collapsed walkway. Haha. Pair of boots. I would gain mastery and alacrity, but lose crit rating, power, and endurance. I don't know. I don't think that the totals. I lose more than I gain, don't I, in terms of totals, and the gear rating is exactly the same, so that doesn't change things. In here, and then on the way back, but then again I can just shuttle back, can't I? Let's do this first, then here, and then it's a bit of an awkward way of doing it, but that's partially my fault. So, did it take us months to get here once we heard that the attack was starting on Corellia? So know that it takes a long time to get around through the hyperlanes sometimes.
Report your ailments. You are fit for duty. Return to your post.
Seems to be that. And the Handon's over there. Oh well, that's fine. I can come down, do this. Shuttle up, and then walk over. That's much quicker walk. The most efficient way of doing things would have been come out of the thing here and work our way down through. No, come up and do this first, and then work our way down. Still, then shuttle up and then go out and do that, I think. I suppose the way that I did it. This is the right one. Good. Surprised that there's no resistance up here. Can't believe that it's just that someone just blew through on the way. Some other consular player happened to get here just before us. Let me click on the explodey barrel. Griffey's still inside. he just hit me with. Made a weird sound. Unusual sound that we don't normally hear. A bit reductive to say that it's an unusual sound that we don't usually hear. And yeah, that's what unusual means. Pick a different word. Jammed the pod's hatch. Okay, so he's probably still inside then. Using the force. I thought we were going to cut it open with the lightsaber, although that would be a bit dangerous if he happened to have his back against it, wouldn't it?
Give yourself a moment to recover.
Just give me 5 minutes under this beautiful sky. Here, one Imperial Dreadnought's complete tactical database, safe and sound.
I think this may warrant a medal.
If you're offering, I won't say no. Just one thing first. One of these files is corrupted, deliberately maybe. I need Holiday to fix it before we pass it on. Is there somewhere secure we can go to fix the file? Its audio is broken up, but I heard it might have intel about the first sun.
Yes, whisper, because there are so many people around us right now that might hear.
There's a resistance shelter nearby. If this is about the first sun, I need to see this file immediately.
I'm not sure I can keep up. I got bounced around pretty hard.
Perhaps this would be a good time for you to meet our new friends. Don't rush if it'll make his injuries worse.
More dark enclosed spaces? If there's a Kolto pack at the end, I'm game. See you at this shelter.
Quite stiff tails, aren't they? They don't move around much. They're a bit like otters. That's awkward. Okay. Here first. What's the point in piling these tables up like this? It's not to clear space, because there's a thing in the way. Or, well, maybe it was to clear space, and they really needed that missile out there. Who knows?
You made it out. We've been busy. Coronet shipping's still a mess. But the rocket trams are up and running.
There were over 24 civilians on those trams. Thanks to you, a lot of them are already off-world.
I'd be happier if any of them had stayed to help. We've lost supplies and men all over this sector.
Using the neutron emitters would have made us no better than the Empire.
I suppose you're right. Victory by any means is their department. What's important is we have access to the rocket tram. We're already moving troops and supplies to Republic holdouts across Corellia. But the Empire's not making it easy. Once our reinforcements move from the rocket tram to the ground transport, they disappear.
We're not sure how the Empire's catching them, but someone contacted us who thinks he does. Councilor Balos, of the same Corellian council that voted to join the Empire.
That was a mistake. The Republic's trying to free Corellia. I want to help.
I guess I could hear you out.
I'm not asking for forgiveness. But your reinforcements will never get through Labor Valley without my help. Your men disappear once they move to speeders. The Empire's using prototype droids that can bring down any short-range vehicle.
Where did the Empire find this technology?
Not found. Developed. They've rounded up the best scientists and technicians on Corellia and put them to work. My assistant, Dina Behar, has been researching the droids. I've instructed her to meet you in Labor Valley. Can she expect you?
We'll take whatever information your assistant can offer.
I should get back before I'm missed. If I learn anything else that might help, I'll contact you.
If this is a trap, we'll find out soon enough. Take the rocket tram to Labor Valley and find this Dina Behar. We need to stop those droids.
Don't need either of those things. I'm max level, so the XP boost won't help, although I could keep it ready for the level cap increase with the release of the next expansion in a couple of months. Why do I have to return to the person I got the mission from to hand it in? Why is they still here? Why couldn't I find someone else to hand it in to?
I've taken care of things. These things look a lot like huge chunks of coloured quartz. So we can see whether we can slip by these guys without pulling their attention. No. Oh well. At least they didn't knock me off my speeder.
Ah, you're back. The Salonians brought your friend in a little while ago.
The captain here patched me up. Luckily, they build those escape pods tough.
Join Mincy and Jai Adjuistash.
I think I was calling them Silurians, but that's obviously wrong. I think a Silurian is the lizard men from Doctor Who. Yes, but Silurian is also a geological time period, spanning 24.6 million years from the end of the Ordovician period at 443.8 million years ago to the beginning of the Devonian period, 419.2 million years ago. The Silurian is the shortest period of the Paleozoic era. As with other geologic periods, the rock beds that define the period start and end, blah blah blah, etc., etc. That's interesting. That the creators of Doctor Who would name their dinosaur-descended reptilians after a period in Earth's geological history. Although I don't know whether the Silurian period had dinosaurs living in it. I think it feels like that was a bit too long ago. Flora and fauna. Silurian was the first period to see megafossils of extensive terrestrial biota in the form of moss-like miniature forests along lakes and streams. However, the land fauna did not have a major impact on the Earth until it diversified in the Devonian. The first fossil records of vascular plants, that is, land plants with tissues that carry water and food, appeared in the second half of the Silurian period, so yeah, way before dinosaurs. The first bony fish, the Osteichthyes, appeared represented by the acanthodians, covered with bony scales. Fish reached considerable diversity and developed movable jaws, adapted from the supports of the front 2 or 3 gill arches. Okay. So we had vertebrates, but fish, so probably vascular plants on land. So probably insects. Yeah, the earliest known animals fully adapted to terrestrial conditions appeared during the mid-Silurian, including the millipede, the giant millipede. Numenodesmus. Numenodesmus. Some evidence also suggests the presence of predatory arachnoids, trigonotarbid arachnoids, and myriapods in late Silurian facies. Predatory invertebrates would indicate the simple food webs were in place. That included non-predatory prey animals. Extrapolating back from earlier Devonian biota, Andrew Jeram et al. In 1990 suggested a food web based on an as yet undiscovered detritivores and grazers on microorganisms. Interesting stuff. But the names are similar, in my defense.
That's correct. Could I borrow your holo transmitter?
Of course, we're all in this together.
Ugh. Someone corrupted this file into a big sticky mess. If there's anything about the First Son in here, it's all mixed up. Ooh, the Jedi Archives. They restore old files all the time, don't they? If I linked in, I could fix this in a snap.
The sooner we find out what's in that file, the better.
Sending a request to the Jedi Council now.
Ah, you're all right. Reports of the fighting on Corellia have been dire.
Indeed. We have the Guardian holds to oversee, troops to organize, and you want to access the Jedi Archives? Now?
This file relates directly to the children of the Emperor and their leader.
In that case, you may have full access.
Restoration in progress. Done.
That was quick.
The file is... Oh, Jedi. You need to see this. Right now.
Too risky. My superiors here still think the Empire will forget its debts.
The children of the Emperor will remind them. When the Republic falls, I will ensure Corellia's government is rewarded for aiding us.
But we've never heard of a First Son. How can we trust you're as powerful as you say?
Sio Bakan.
Because we met once, Secretary. On Coruscant. Do you still doubt I can do anything I wish?
I'll kill him.
I can't believe what I'm seeing.
I can.
What have we done?
Contact CO quickly.
Ah, you've arrived. Your forces are landing, the Guardian holds are standing strong. The battle may yet go our way.
Our way? Don't you mean the Emperor's? Isn't that who you really serve? First Son?
We should give him a chance to explain.
CO, please. Tell me this isn't true.
I'm afraid he cannot. I believe it is now CO's turn to be silent and watch. Fate has set me a challenge. I had hoped for more time, but all things must adapt or die.
Release Sio Bakarn. Immediately.
He is beneath your reach now, Jedi. In the place I was forced to occupy. You kindly entrusted the Guardian holds to me, and I, in turn, entrusted them to my brothers and sisters.
Bollocks.
Goodbye, Jared, Satio, and thank you.
We just lost communication to the Guardian holds. All our troops, their leaders.
If he takes the Guardian holds, he can take Coronet City. That's the entire purpose of the holds. Corellia is lost!
The First Son doesn't know what my troops are capable of.
Yes. Nobody has seen your forces fight before. Not even CO.
Haha!
We must ensure the Guardian holds are not in enemy hands. But if they have fallen, your forces are our best hope to retake them.
We won't let you down, Master Satio.
The closest is Guardian Hold 6, a large walker factory. Now you've cleared the Imperial forces. You should be able to reach it.
I'll tell our allies to meet us there, Jedi.
Guardian Hold 6 must be saved. If the First Son has already struck, you are our only hope.
Jedi, we were heading to Guardian Hold 6, the walker factory, when we received a distress signal. It's bad. Guardian Hold 6 has been taken by the enemy, apparently from within, and the other Guardian Holds have fallen too.
The First Son mentioned hiding his siblings inside the Guardian holds, but I thought we'd have more time.
We've had one stroke of luck, a very small one. Apparently a few soldiers escaped the fighting. They've made a small camp. We could meet you there and put a strategy together.
Let these soldiers know that reinforcements are on the way.
Actually, I'm not sure how that'll be received. We tried contacting the man in charge, but he's being difficult. Could you hurry?
Yep. The Guardian holds are as good as ours again. Because nothing can stand before me. Oh, up here. Okay. Thought we'd be going down here next, considering it's been explored. Oh, no. This is where I needed to be. That looks as though it's up on something, doesn't it? At least that's how I was interpreting it when I looked.
Stand by for examination and suggested products.
How many of these things can
You
I
are
break
fit for
down?
duty. Return to your post.
Oh, I can deconstruct that force focus. Okay. Oh, I can deconstruct on my speeder. Nice. Let's disintegrate that.
Report your ailments. You are fit for duty. Return to your post.
Is it inside somewhere? Yes. Okay. It's part of the rocket tram system. Apparently. How do I get into it? On the other side? From underneath. From underneath, okay.
Welcome. Please select an available travel route.
I wonder why this is completely inaccessible and yet
Have a safe and
is
pleasant stay.
explored. Corporation Islands. Is that the Imperial area? And you have no way of accessing it as a Republic player, so they explore it for you? So that you're able to have the city, the planet explored. I suppose they've made viewable locations out there, filling this space. So you can see stuff when you're inside the rocket tram.
Good day, gentle being. My employer has requested a brief conversation with you. Please hold.
No, this is a flashpoint. I think it said flashpoint over
Master
its head.
Jedi, I'm Director Rigel with the Strategic Information Service. I understand you're an expert in stopping enemy infiltrations. We need that expertise. 4 Republic colonies have been wiped out in less than 4 days. Men, women, children, animals. Nothing was left alive.
Was the Empire behind these killings?
No, it wasn't the Empire. I saw the colonies. Afterward, everything looked normal, except for neat little piles of ashes every few meters. Thousands of them. All those people were burned to cinders by their own droids. And that was just the beginning.
What do you mean, just the beginning?
The droids were reprogrammed to hate their masters. This wasn't the first time it's happened either, but it's certainly the worst. We've traced the sabotage to a group of renegade droids called Directive 7. They're planning to wipe out every living thing in the galaxy.
I never thought the droids could be capable of such reckless hate.
No one did. If we don't act soon, it will be too late. The Navy is putting together a strike force as we speak. We need someone on the ground we can absolutely count on to get the job done. We need you.
Yeah, Flashpoint Directive 7. I'm not going to pick that up just at the moment, given that I won't be able to do it right now, and I don't like picking up missions that I don't immediately do. I also have no idea whether it's possible to solo it.
Master Jedi, we've got a real problem here. 1 second. Hey, get Haig on the comlink. If they don't evacuate those people in record time, we might as well start digging graves.
I'm on it.
Sorry, Corellia Chemical's about to blow sky high, and we got a ton of civilians in the blast radius.
What exactly is the scenario at the factory?
The Republic tried to run a bunch of Imperials out of the factory, and the place took heavy damage. A fire inside's got the refining equipment ready to overload, and we're almost out of time. If someone doesn't physically shut down those machines, that factory will be one giant chemical bomb going off in a civilian population.
I'll stop the overload. Anything else?
Just get inside and shut down all the refining drives. But it'll be tough. The place is still crawling with Imperial battle droids. And those things won't just stand around while you get the job done. Be ready to move fast and fight hard.
Standalone story. And it is possible to solo. Probably. So I guess I'll do that next time.
Chopechuta, kasolyeli choirato kapachuta. Mukili makolunki ne at bompa boshuda. Chingwanga la hagwa chekuska ampasa dobiska.
Are you doing all right?
Wavmula to bota tuane wanki wabda yaktuka loka? Kavatuta omishka kaba no tesma wetia? Kokutichoski nawi kuchusi yomata chi pompota.
I'd like to help. Any way I can.
Loktupa nupa chirota. Wasta micha kolkuka tu maji. Ta ushagwa upa.
Let's go up there. Got about half an hour left. There should be plenty of time. To go north. Be awkward that I don't have any more of the map explored, so I don't know what other routes there are and how open it is. That's the same make of speeder that they use as taxis on some worlds. Sometimes the taxi is just a speeder like this, except longer with like fins on the front. Haha. I bamboozled that droid. What the point of this space is? There's nothing in there. Just some boxes. And a couple of trees. And an advert? Wiggles through interior arcades, isn't it? Wasn't able to evade these ones this time. Oh well. Awkward as well. Was that not going to attack? I figured that these two droids were in a mob group together. But the Elite didn't attack when I destroyed the hovering drone one. Ooh, a chest. Let's take care of this conqueror. It's a big droid. Jedi Knight phase, okay.
I have warned you enough. Stay back. I will not allow more lives to be lost.
As I told you, we're... Oh, Jedi, can you talk to him?
We've come to retake the Walker factory and the other Guardian holds.
So these people are with you, Master.
I couldn't quite believe it. Not after today. I am Jari. We are all that's left of the Defenders. Like Aelin says, we can never... The Council entrusted Guardian Hold 6 to me and my friend, Aelin Calder. Just another battle together, we said. And it was at first.
Go on when you're ready.
Thank you, Master. Aelin and I were checking the sentries, just talking, when he attacked me. Not with his blaster, with the Force, like a Sith. When I could stand again, he was killing our soldiers. I tried to stop him. Now Guardian Hold 6 belongs to the Empire. How could Aelin do this? Even as we dueled, I felt no darkness. Nothing.
It's not your fault. Aelin was a sleeper agent, placed by the Sith.
I didn't think this situation could be any worse. The Imperials occupy the main factory. They're making military walkers, building their own reinforcements. We must shut down the production line. But Guardian Hold 6 is a fortress with no way inside.
You escaped with many wounded. How?
In the fighting, a wall junction exploded and overloaded the security grid. But the junction will be repaired by now.
A precise hit could knock the security grid out for good.
We cannot, not from the outside. But the wall itself, that may be vulnerable. Yes, your forces could break through the wall and distract the walkers. Then you could slip in and stop production. But your soldiers will suffer heavy losses.
The sooner I stop the walker production lines, the safer they will be. I imagine Balmora's droids know what to do with walkers.
Indeed. They'll crack the wall for you, then take those walkers apart.
Here are the codes to shut down the production line. And Master, Aelin is still somewhere inside. Please, if you find him, try to help him. May the Force be with you both.
I don't know how much we can do about people who have been taken over like that. So back through here, in here. Okay. Where the datacrons for this planet are. I'm sure there'll be some more blasted jumping puzzles. The game didn't like that, did it? Oh. So they were in a group, it's just that when I killed the small droid, the scanner droid here, and then attacked the security droid immediately afterwards, I hadn't given it time to react, I guess. I think I failed to get past these last time as well. Stupid things. I really wish I could stealth. Oh hey, there's a mission there. There's two.
Report your ailments. You are fit for duty. Return to your post.
No, I think I'm going to come back for those. I'll do this and then end the stream so as that I'm not going over. I think I'd rather be ending early rather than late. So it's up to 3 hours rather than at least 3 hours. I think I'd rather do that. And as such, I'll just handle this. This mission. How the hell do I get in? No, not this way. It's above me. Alright, how do I get up? Maybe it is a section of wall. That's right. We were supposed to be trying to find a section of wall that was damaged to blast our way in through. But there isn't anything here to interact with. Oh, yes there is. It's here. Thing on the wall that I need to boop.
Jedi, do you read? Our droids have made it inside Guardian Hold 6.
How many droids did we lose, Ty?
Jedi, the battle's not over. The droids report one of the Imperial Walker crews followed them and activated hostile units on the factory floor. Our droids are having a tough time. Anything you can do?
Alert the droids that friendly forces are coming.
Good, good. I can't send any more in time. Just come as fast as you can.
Right, yeah. I didn't think that would be it, given that, you know, the map showed the rest of the facility, or at least more of the facility. Is this what the factory is producing? thanks guys, and bit helpful that. Explosions. Yeah, this is definitely only a part of the factory. This is not a production line. The space we're in at the moment could be big enough if you were just making one droid at a time, artisanally. But definitely not a space that you would see a production line for multiple things housed. We actually wanted to be up on here. Somehow I didn't notice that this was a bridge. Not paying attention. What's up with that?
I knew it would be you. Did Jari beg you to save me? Jedi are rats. Stomp on one, and another comes scuttling back in.
That's not how rats work.
Jari was a loyal comrade who fought by your side.
And tortured me with his constant goody-two-shoes sniveling. I know what you did to Blasis and Gieland and Sophia Farish. I'm not losing Guardian Hold 6 to a monster like you.
Why do you think that Jedi are monsters?
You're the one who turned on your friend, then slaughtered your own men.
Simple survival. If they were no threat, I let them go. You didn't give the other children any such courtesy. Took me a while to find the master startup code, but it was worth it. This is for my brothers and sisters.
Really? That's why that's there. We really got caught out by someone using Force and Lightning on us. Pathetic. Narratively, we needed to be pushed outside the room, I guess. I believe that. Having that. far as I can tell, the personalities that the Emperor's children put on when they're being sleeper agents are false personalities, and the real personality is the one that they show when they drop that pretense. So I don't really feel very bad about killing them, because they're just kind of evil shits. Also, I don't really understand, like, his whole thing about survival of the fittest, Jedi are evil somehow, just doesn't make any sense. It's nonsensical.
I sense Aelin Calder has fallen. You and your curiosities have teeth. But the Republic is still crumbling. You grasp at sand, Jedi, and it slips through your fingers.
And you with your echoey voice. How's it going, Master CEO? Come back to us.
I know you can hear me, Master. The Emperor can only trap you, not destroy you.
Fascinating.
Theron Cedrax, Master Satil, Master Jarek. They know who you truly are.
Baron. And Duras Fane. My friends. Years ago.
Enough. You shall watch, CO, as your pupil suffers for this.
Aelin? No, he can't be. Not like this. I didn't feel anything. A single day couldn't change a whole lifetime of good work. He must have become one with the Force.
In the end, dark or light, all things are a part of the Force.
Thank you, Master. That is kind. I think you turned the tide. Many of Ty Corden's droids survived the battle. If I move the wounded here and repair the wall, I believe we can hold Guardian Hold 6 ourselves. The Republic needs its troops in Axial Park.
Where is Axial Park?
Nearby. The most beautiful parkland in the Republic. Until the first bombs fell. Another of our fortresses, Guardian Hold 4, is in Axial Park. We've had reports that it too has fallen to the enemy. The Republic is planning a push. They hope to overcome the Imperials and retake Guardian Hold 4 with sheer force of numbers.
Now this Guardian Hold is secure. Our place is in Axial Park.
There is a Republic safe house in Axial Park where you could hold your councils. I shall send word to your allies. Goodbye, Master. I will try to guard this place well.
Am I a Master yet? Have I been granted? Oh yes, I have. Black Bisector. Barsenthor. Barsenthor, a rank invented purely for the game, I think. I feel more connection to the Black Bisector name, because I at least enjoyed the Gree droids more. I thought you were going to get this sealed up. That is a lot of wall though, isn't it? Go up here and then leave off, I think. So that we're ready to pick up those missions another time. Axial Park's over there. Still a lot of things to do here though, isn't there? A lot of place to explore. really explore this area? I don't remember. I think I did. Alright. That'll do it for today. I think.
Report your ailments. You are fit for duty. Return to your post.
Oh. Apparently this piece of synth-weaving gear...
Stand by for examination and suggested products.
Cannot break down. I'll be putting this up on my YouTube, Vanilla Jester Gaming. So if you haven't managed to see all of it, you can find it there, and it will be joining all of my other streams that I have done. Well, almost all. There are a couple right at the beginning. There are a couple. One at the beginning, one just after Christmas, where the stream didn't really work out properly. I think the mic wasn't working, so there are a couple that are lost forever. But I redid those, so, or for the most part. Anyway, so all of my streams are up on my YouTube, so you can find them and watch them there. Put them in the background whilst you do other stuff, or pay rapt attention to me running around. However you feel like consuming the media. You can also find me on Twitter at Vanilla Jester, and I should be back on Friday to continue liberating Corellia. Regardless of whether Friday is the next time I'm back, I hope to see you again. And I hope that until I do, you have as good a time as you possibly can. And goodbye.